Can you start with your name and your title?
Sure, my name is Dave Cresta, and I'm a battalion chief for the San Bruno Fire Department.
So, Dave, have a lot of people been coming in and out to get sandbags?
Yes, we've had over the last 2 days, as word has gotten out about the storm, we've had a lot of residents come to get sandbags for their residences.
Where do people usually use the sandbags?
Usually it depends, but usually it's garages flood, depending on certain areas of your house. The sidewalk, some houses are on a down slope, so they want to protect water from entering the garage or the house.
What else can people do to prepare for the flood?
Well, our city crews are out cleaning storm drains, so you can make sure that your drains, your downspouts, and your drains are clear. You want to make sure that that water that comes flows. You want to make sure gutters are cleaned out, and really make sure that you have supplies in case you lose power, and you can have candles, flashlights, that kind of stuff.
Are you a resident in this area?
I am local resident in San Carlos, yes.
What have you done to prepare personally?
What have I done? Well, kind of some of those same things. Try to make sure my gutters are cleaned out. Kind of make sure my family has flashlights ready to use in case we do lose power for a substantial amount of time. And just overall preparedness, be safe, drive slow in rain, that kind of stuff.
Oh, how many sandbags can people get?
So we'd like to keep it to San Bruno residents, and we'd like to have a max of 10. We'll go to up to 15 if it's a larger business, something like that.
What time can they come?
They can come at any time. They can either come here in San Bruno or at the Fire Station 51 or at the Public Works that is located on San Antonio and San Felipe.
And what can residents do with the sandbags after? Because I know they don't take them back.
We don't take them back, so they can just either save them somewhere or dispose of them in a proper manner.
And then could you spell your name?
Cresta.
Thank you so much. Anything
You're
else
welcome.
that you think?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Recording. Okay. Yeah. Your name?
Yeah, it's Nick Kristen. I'm a student of meteorology here at SFSU. It's my 4th year, and almost done with my undergraduate degree.
That's great. So, what can you tell me about the storm that's coming up?
Well, it's definitely something we haven't seen in the last 4 to 5 years. What sets it apart so much is sort of the dynamics that we're working with. We haven't seen in quite a few seasons. This is really the type of storm that you only maybe we can start that over.
I'm just gonna keep filming because like I said, I'm gonna
Yeah.
cut pieces off.
Really the type of storm that you really only see every few winters.
What are the dynamics that you mean?
Yeah, so it's a combination of a lot of things coming together, really. And so we start to see what a really strong area of low pressure, and that's sort of the core of the storm. And associated with that is very potent gosh darn it, a potent cold front. So I'll sort of say that again.
Yeah, you can start the whole thing. You can just explaining it.
Yeah, so what really sets this system apart is that we see a really strong low pressure center. And so we're talking about how we measure that is in isobars, and so barometric pressure. And when we see lots of enclosed isobars very tightly packed together, that indicates a very strong pressure gradient. And so we're seeing values at the core of the system that are very low and very tightly packed together. So we're going to see very strong winds, very strong center of low pressure. Also associated with that is a very strong cold front. And so we sort of don't see that very often. We see lots of these types of storms. They're just mid-latitude cyclones. But we don't see this sort of dynamic very often. And what happens is when that strong cold front comes together with what we call a lot of precipitable water, and that's basically just the amount of water vapor that's available in the atmosphere. And we have a very long stream of that sort of expanding out into the ocean, above the ocean into the atmosphere. And when the cold front comes into contact with that precipitable water, we see the potential for very high amounts of precipitation.
So what do we expect to see tomorrow? What do you expect to see tomorrow? What are you excited to see? Is it gonna be
We are very excited, not only because, we love weather and this is what we study, but because we're in the middle of this 3-year drought. And so really any rain we can get, we really are excited about. So we're excited. We're not so excited about some of the other parts of the storm, so very strong winds, as I was talking about. So that's going to be something we need to watch out for. But very, very heavy rain, so we're super excited about that.
And then I think I read somewhere that this front is coming from somewhere, like it's moving over here, but I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was a storm front that we kind of see it coming from somewhere, or like where is it coming from? Or?
Right, so these types of, we like to call them mid-latitude cyclones, winter storms, as opposed to tropical cyclones like hurricanes. So they're extratropical. Storms like this you'll see originate as low-pressure systems out in the Gulf of Alaska. And so that's what we're seeing with this storm. And we have out ahead of that a lot of subtropical moisture, which is what I was talking about with sort of the precipitable water and the water vapor that we have so much available with this storm. And so they sort of form. This one actually formed in the Gulf of Alaska, has moved toward the west coast of the United States, and we're starting to see it split into what we call two waves. So we have one that's sort of off into the Pacific Northwest, and the other that's more directly off the coast of California. And with that, when we see something like that with these what we call two waves, we tend to see the cold front associated with that stall out. And so when we see a stalling cold front, that can mean what? That it stays around longer. And then the precipitation amounts really just pick up because we see a storm that's not moving out of the area. It's just sort of parked in one spot and dumping the rain. And that's what we're so excited to see.
How long is it going to be parked here? Or can you tell?
Yeah, so we're really looking at a window of about 12 hours of really solid rainfall and really high winds from about 3 a.m. Into Thursday morning to 3 p.m. on Thursday. So really all day Thursday is going to be quite stormy.
And what do you plan on being here? Or are you going to be at home?
I'm at school. We'll see how classes go. Hopefully the power doesn't really go out or anything, but that's definitely a possibility. We could see trees falling across power lines and traffic jams and flooding and you name it.
What's the area that this front, the wave that you're talking about? How far does it reach? Like, is it like all of the Bay Area? Is it going to reach past the Bay Area?
Yeah, so it's definitely an event that's focused on Northern California is going to see the highest impacts from this storm. But even Southern California.
They'll feel some of the...
Yeah.
What do you think about how high the winds are going to get?
So we're going to expect winds to be sustained around 40 to 50 miles an hour in the Bay Area in urban areas. So we're talking where people live, 40 to 50 miles an hour, sustained winds, gusts up to 70.
Wow. so good at this. You're perfect. Thank you so much. Could you spell your name on camera?
It's NICKCHRISTEN.
Thank you so much. I know your email
Oh,
too, so I can send it to you.
And I was gonna say,
No, go
yeah, with precipitation totals, we're expecting in urban areas anywhere upwards of 3 inches, which, to put that into perspective, is sort of what we would expect to see over the entire month of December. And this is in the middle of our wet season, and we're expecting that within the next 48 hours.
What can people do? Stay in?
Sandbags, if you live in an area that's prone to flooding, definitely watch out for that. Make sure you have a lantern, nearby if the power goes out. Just be prepared. Have water, food, a working phone.
Thank you so much. That
Yeah.
was like absolutely perfect. Like I couldn't have gone to Channel 2 and asked them to do it any better.